Yeah, so I'm not gonna stretch this section anymore. This is the last part of it. So we are gonna look into the roadmap of how you guys can jump into competitive programming. Okay. So as of now, the first step that you should be well versed with, and that I guess I have already told you guys, is you should be knowing out an programming language. So you have already selected out an programming language, that is Python. So we started out with Python. So that is something, it is the most preferred language as of you guys, whatever the most preferred language might be. Okay. So C, Java is also a good case, but let's start with Python. As of now, I started competitive programming with Python itself. So now the first step, what you guys should be doing is, uh, you guys should be starting with HackerRank or HackerEarth. Okay, these are the places that I personally have seen, and I have started with HackerRank previously, and that helped me out while me. As of now, I am not much of an competitive coder because my domain is quite different. I belong to the domain of data science, machine learning. So my competitive programming skills are quite well packed up, but I can help you guys for you guys to master it up. So you guys can start with HackerRank or HackerEarth. This is the place that most of my friends have gone through, and I guess that's probably the best place to start with. HackerRank, even I have started out and I've got out some certificates. I've solved, I guess, some 80 to 90 problems, almost 100 problems in Python, some in problem solving, some in different domains, so some in SQL. So I've been solving some of the HackerRank problems recently. And this is something which is, I say, a beginner level part. So if you are a beginner or you need just to know everything about Python, not much about the SD part, or you don't want to be someone who builds up algorithm, you want to be someone from the data field who just need Python as their weapon to execute their machine learning toolkit, then you just start with HackerRank. Even if you are beginner, just start with HackerRank, play around with it for 2 to 3 months, play around with Python. I'm telling Python because Python is one of the easiest place to start with, and the questions are really easy and quite complex too. So we have in all levels, easy, hard. Okay. We have a hacker too. So it's your call, whichever you want to use. Now creating all of these are very simple. You just have to search out HackerRank in Google search. You will be getting out the first link. Okay. Most of the SEOs are just covering up HackerRank in the top segment. Even HackerEarth does the same thing. Search it up in the Google bar, and you will be getting out both of the things. So these are something which are gonna help you out with beginning with your competitive programming. Now, one more very important thing that I have seen in these places, probably in HackerRank, is there are so many job postings. We have so many job postings over there, MNCs, big MNCs with an thick software developer package. A very handsome package will be offered to you if you are able to crack out their exams, or if you are very good out in CP, competitive programming. So start out with HackerRank or HackerEarth. I started with HackerRank. You guys can start with HackerEarth, or you guys can also start with HackerRank. These are the two places you might just get off these readings, which I feel are quite useless, because I don't think you need to know about all of these, who started it and why they started it. All you need to know is uh, how to get your hands dirty in HackerRank and HackerEarth. Okay, these are the beginner level places. Start out with this. In these places, we a lot of it host competitions conducted by various MNCs and colleges. Now, there are competitions where if you are able to give out the results and if you perform really well, you are going to get a very good amount. So when I talk about very good amount, it's not about 1,000, 2,000 rupees. It's about 50, 60 lakhs of rupees can be earned if you are a good competitive programmer. Just at the beginner level, even if you're a student, you don't need to earn thick money before getting out a degree. Okay, like after getting out a degree, you can earn it before itself. You just need places to start with. That's it. In the step three, okay, step one was learning any programming language. So Python you have already well versed with. Second was starting with HackerRank and Hacker started for 2 to 3 months. Third case, start with DSA, data structures and algorithm. So we have already covered about all the data structures, but not probably about the algorithm. This course which you are doing right now is not much based on the algorithm. This is more of a getting your hands dirty in Python, getting knowing about everything in Python. Now you can start. Now that you know everything about Python, you can learn algorithms by yourself. There are so many online places where you can learn algorithms. Okay, probably we are also going to give you some source where you can start out with algorithms. Now, after you have completed this, we have the last thing, that is step 4. That is the most important thing, that is practice, practice, and practice. If you follow these 3 P's, we have the 3 P rules. This 3 P rule is followed by some of the most famous coders that we have in the industry. So practice, practice, practice. Next is completely based on your practice to be mastered in competitive programming. The more you practice, the more you get stronger. The below websites are the places where you can practice competitive programming in much higher level. My friends have been in Code Chef, Code Forces, Lead Code. So probably I'll just suggest you Lead Code. I'll just tell you, start with Lead Code. You don't have to go into all of these places. Start with HackerRank. Get your hand dirty in Python for 2 months in HackerRank. Then for the next 6 to 8 months, just start with Lead Code. If you are very good, if you can create out a very good portfolio for yourself in Lead Code, then voila, Google is just waiting for you to hire. So but it's not a child's play. You have to give a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, a lot of uh, your sweat into this. These things are very complex, and it totally depends upon how much power and energy you can give into this. Give 2 months to hacker rank and probably 6 to 8 months to lead code and coach chef, and then you can just apply for internships or job postings and start with applying in competitions that we are having in these different places, in code chef, code forces, top code or lead code. In any of these places, just start with the competitions part once you are in a sufficient level of competitive programming. So that's it for the roadmap. One very important thing that a lot of people ask me out, that uh, there's quite an arguments that people tell me that the problems in competitive programming do not relate to real life programming world. And for the most part, as of me, I will tell you it's definitely true. Whatever questions that we are having over here, those are not much relatable to real life programming work. Come on, nobody's gonna tell me that one apple just fell over in the ground, another apple fell 30 meters away from it. Create an algorithm from which you can get out both the apples in a simple time frame, sort them out, etc. etc. Nobody's gonna tell you to do that. But uh, it makes you a better programmer when you can code out that. If you can create out logic, your logic building skills have been improved a lot. Whenever you are given out a scenario in real life scenario, you can build out the logic and code it out. Time limit always makes you write your code in a very efficient manner, and there's an scaling features where you can just scale up yourself in within the time. So there's a time constraint and you stick to it. In real life scenarios, you guys must have heard of it, that we need to finish our work in deadlines. So my boss is something who wants me to complete it by 20 this project. So if all you are working on this project, I want your machine learning model by 20th April. So that's my deadline, and I have to focus on the time limit constraints. So CP helps you with this. Critical test data helps you write correct solution in one go. So that's one more case that you don't have to write n number of times. You can just write it once. You are in a capable position that you can only write it once and it will be executed. Further, it makes you great in debugging code. That's the main important thing, debugging code, which will none of the courses, none of the online materials, none of the things that are available places, not your college, not the course, not any online places will tell you how to debug a code, but your own practice. Hard problems make you break down the problem into chunks, solve them individually, and bring it all together to solve the main problems. If you could recall, we did the same thing when we were solving out some of the quite important problems in for loops, while loops, and conditional statement. We took the complete problem, break out in different steps, and at the end, we joined all of them together. Yes, computer program is not the only way to master these qualities, but it is one of the best ways to do so. Give it a shot. If you enjoy it, it's worth it. You will be rewarded and object with objective benefits. If you don't, even after repeated trials, give yourself a break. So, kudos everyone, you have reached a very sufficient level. Start out with competitive programming. So that's it for this section. In our next section, we are going to start with Python and advanced concept, that is class and objects. So let's catch up again in our next